and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I am Andrew Moran, Ellen's economics correspondent. Each week, I dive into the morass of top economic news stories and fish out compelling narratives, or I retrieve fallacies that have been accepted as conventional wisdom by the swamp creatures for years. This week, President Joe Biden has a new message: drill, baby, drill. Today, the national average for a gallon of gasoline is about $3.18. This is up about 45% from the same time a year ago. This is also the highest it has been in 7 years. Suffice it to say, motorists are paying more at the pump. But why? Crude oil prices are soaring, demand is on the rise, and fresh supply is trickling into the global marketplace. Because soaring energy costs are adding to inflationary pressures in the United States today, the Biden administration has become desperate to erase the Bidenflation moniker that has been attached to the White House in recent months. President Biden's solution? Go on his hands and knees and beg the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies OPEC Plus to start increasing oil output. Recently, the cartel agreed to end the production freeze and begin raising output by 400,000 barrels per day. But the Biden White House claims that it is, quote, simply not enough during a critical moment in the global recovery. Not only is this a hypocritical stance that defies the Democrats' stance on climate change and energy, but it is also a slap in the face to American workers. Since entering the Oval Office, Biden has scrapped the Keystone XL pipeline, suspended new oil and gas leases on federal lands, and returned to the Paris Accord. If Biden wanted more oil to come to the market, he could have allowed thousands of Americans to have high-paying jobs to do so. Instead, he is relying on nations overseas to carry out this new objective. White House officials say that the president wants to, quote, use whatever tools that it has to help address the cost of gas to help bring those prices down. Apparently, that does not include U.S. ingenuity and innovation. Texas Governor Greg Abbott was correct when he said in a recent statement, quote, Texas can do this. Our producers can easily produce that oil if your administration will just stay out of the way. Allow American workers, not OPEC, produce that oil that can reduce the price of gasoline. But according to the long list of statements from the president and members of his party, and even the mainstream media, the climate crisis is the most challenging issue faced in the world today, even more than the myriad of economic problems. That said, this really diminishes America's energy independence in recent years. For the last 50 years, every president has promised to make the US energy independent and no longer beholden to kingdoms and princes in the Middle East. In recent years, the US achieved this lofty goal and became a net energy exporter, rivaling that of Saudi Arabia and Russia. Now that Bidenomics is buckling under pressure, the president is willing to seek a bailout from foreign countries and go back on his word. Perhaps you could call it Bidenpocracy, or maybe this is the president keeping his promise from last year's debate of ending America's energy sector. Either way, Biden has adopted the 2008 Republicans' campaign slogan of drill baby drill, but ostensibly this only applies to foreign countries. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column where I discuss OPEC more in depth, US consumer sentiment, and the worsening food crisis around the world. Thank you.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.